bio here and I was reading through it and I was about to read it and introduce her that way, but I have to introduce her from my heart. So, Dr. Lee lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and so does my family. And on my second to last trip to Albuquerque, I was going to my favorite coffee shop in New Mexico, and it was taking longer than usual for the baristas to make my coffee. So I turned to the wall and I saw everybody's business cards up there. And I just love that old timey sort of thing where people put the business cards up. And in the center of the board was one card, and it said amethyst. And I was like, oh, I like amethysts. And so I looked at the card and I just knew I had to go to this place. And at first, I signed up for facial acupuncture. I was going to do a facial acupuncture lift with Dr. Lee because one of the amazing things that she does is acupuncture and has even studied in China. But after I met her, I knew that my prayers had been answered because she is the third naturopath I have ever worked with. I had worked with two others and unfortunately had to not continue working with them. And I had been searching for years, I mean, years for a naturopath and had tried and interviewed some here and there. But when I met Dr. Lee, I knew she was the answer to my health. And um, she's just wholly like present and there, and the arsenal of tools that she has is phenomenal. I hope that you can speak to them more, Dr. Lee, because I just feel like there's so much that you offer. And I know that with Dr. Lee, I'm having a conversation for health. I know that in this world, Western medicine doesn't have a conversation for health. They have a conversation for what's wrong with you. And I know in my heart that we can heal from anything. And I feel like Dr. Lee is a key to that. I know that she's going to blow up one day and it's going to be hard to get an appointment with her, but I have to shout from the rooftops the difference that she makes in this world. So thank you so much, Dr. Lee. And I look forward to hearing what you have to share with everybody.
Thank you, Claudia. Oh my goodness, you're amazing. Okay. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to stay pretty calm. You can always this coffee shop. So because of my daughter, I got to you. So hello, everybody. Yes, I'm in New Mexico. I'm a couple hours behind you. And my name is Lee. Of course, they've said it so many times. But I am native to New Mexico, just like Claudia says, her family's here. I was raised in the mountains of Taos, New Mexico, which is right on the border almost of Colorado. So lots of mountains, but we do have desert here as well. But, you know, I come from a family of generational healers. And I say healers as that aspect of I'm not healing you, you're healing yourself. We just guide you to that next level. So as a doctor of Oriental medicine, I learned the Oriental medicine practices. I went to China and Harbin and I studied in the hospitals, and we're so fortunate in our hospitals because in one of our hospital rooms, there's 10 people in their one hospital room, right? So IVs, everything was just non-sterile and people just got better. They don't use painkillers there. It was just eye-opening as an American where we're so prescription drug based, and they go, yeah, after surgery we don't give any type of painkillers because how do you know someone's getting well if you're masking their pain or putting a band-aid on it? So we're working with stroke victims and half the cranium's gone, and we're like, no pain medication? Nope, no pain medication. They just know that they'll get better and get better and get better. So they do not know that there is an alternative with pain or something to mask it. So they got me thinking, if this generation if that culture doesn't believe in pain medication, is it a mindset? What's going on with that? So that was like the first start of it all. And then I became a certified functional medicine practitioner. So integrating medicine, right? Integrative medicine means maybe some alternative medicine and maybe some Western medicine. Well, the way functional medicine is, and it's kind of new, and some of you may have heard of Dr. Mark Hyman. He is a functional medicine practitioner. He's kind of making it big right now, talking about how we can heal ourselves through food. It doesn't always have to be supplement based. Well, functional medicine blew my mind because we are going to look at the inside of your body in so many different ways. We do get traditional Western labs with, looking at your blood and looking at your cholesterol, looking at other things. But as a functional medicine doctor, I take it to the next level and I want to know what every organic acid in your body is doing. So I get blood, saliva, and urine. Blood is usually like just a snapshot of what's going on in your body at that one time. Saliva is another snapshot of it. And then you have your urine. So I work with the labs. It's out of North Carolina. They're called Genova. And we send in blood, again, stool and saliva, and they can genetically give me some genetic predispositions to who you are. They'll give me every organic acid in your body, what's going on with it. We'll also, like with hormone testing in women, most Western doctors, and I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they'll just get some blood and go, oh, everything looks good here. Not me. You get 21 test tubes and you get to spit in those tubes every day, and you put them in the freezer, and then we get to see the sequential of what's going on with your hormones within a 21-day cycle. So, I do a lot of stool testing as well, and most people go, yay, but parasites, heavy metals, there's a lot of different other things that are in your body and your stool that can give us an insight to what's going on within you. So we got the Oriental medicine here where I'm working with meridians and the 5 elements, and I do a lot of esoteric acupuncture, meaning that we're working through the ethers and working through the psycho-emotional. We're working with that way. Then I bring in what your organic body does, right? And we go, what's going on here? Well, this is going on with the blood, or this is going on with this organic acid. Maybe we need to add some antioxidants, or maybe we need to add some food. We look at the thyroid as well. The big thing with me is adrenals. Like most of us are adrenal shot because of technology, because of our lives of go, go, go. Adrenals tend to be one of those things that I go, oh, it's just a little bit of juice there, and it can just help everything from thyroid to stomach to hormones, headaches, migraines. So looking at all of that, first and foremost, start talking to the patient. And so as a functional medicine doctor or practitioner, you'll get lab work done. They'll talk to you. They'll see what's going on. How is this working? But they still don't touch you, right? As an acupuncturist, I touch all my patients as well. And I see what's going on. I feel the pulses. I feel their body. And I create a connection with them because every time you come in, I can feel if there's a difference in who you are. So I don't just give people a supplement and go, okay, we'll see you in about 6 months. We'll see if any of this actually works for you. I'm like, no. We have to see you in about 3 weeks and let's see how you're doing, right? So then there's that portion. Try and keep balancing the body, harmony. The other thing I do is I am working with indigenous medicine, so natural medicine. I am a student of one of the 13 indigenous grandmothers of the world, and I follow the Moonwalker philosophy of indigenous medicine. And so as a child, I saw things, I would see colors. I would tell my parents, Mrs. So-and-so's gonna die on Thursday. And they'd say, you can't talk like that. Like people don't talk like that. Because then she would die on Thursday and they'd go, okay, no one talks that way. And I'd say stuff like, that person's really angry, or that couple is not happy, or he's doing this, or any of it. And so it was shut down at an early age. And I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you before that, I was in dentistry before that. On top of all of this, I was in dental hygiene. So checking out the mouth and keeping things healthy that way. And in one of my sessions, I was seeing a lady that I've been seeing for months, and again, shut down since the youth, not to look at colors, not to really see people as who they were. And this lady's I'm working on her, and I hear this message, tell her that Archangel Gabriel said it's okay to give up the baby. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, does she totally hear this? And I'm seeing things around this lady again, and I'm thinking I'm having a stroke. And so I tell the lady, I said, do you believe in angels? And she said, I do. And I said, well, Archangel Gabriel, and I don't know who that is, told me to tell you it's okay to give up the baby. And she said, she started bawling and she said, what? I just found out I'm pregnant with our seventh child, and my husband and I are very Christian based. And we were just talking last night. We're the only two that know I'm pregnant, and we really don't want to have the baby because we have seven, and I can't deliver to, because what am I supposed to tell my children if I'm pregnant? And I said, okay, well, I don't know. I don't know who Archangel Gabriel is, but he says it's okay to give up the baby. So she's crying. I'm crying. She leaves. I tell my front office person, I think I'm having a stroke. I don't know what happened here. A week later, she calls back and said, I looked up Archangel Gabriel. He is the angel of unborn souls. And my husband and I did decide to give up the baby. I just wanted to tell you, thank you. And so I went, okay, something's wrong here. So I started talking to my parents again. And they're like, yeah, remember you were little, you would do things. And I said, okay. Found my first teacher who told me, I think your gifts are just finally coming back. I was 32. If you think about, I think Jesus died at the cross at 32, right? So there was some resurrection there. And so after that, found my teacher, and then everything came pouring in. Everything from doing the medical intuitive stuff to understanding that I could see and know things. And I went to a wonderful hypnotherapist, Leah, who helped me remember that even at 5 years old, I was in my grandmother's kitchen and I could see her breast cancer, and remembering that looked like at that time. So everything came flooding in. And then that's when the indigenous medicine came in, because grandmother Lane and my master teacher, Jennifer Lee, have helped me understand what my gifts are and why I see what I see, and that I can touch somebody and understand that they're going through a crisis, and it may not even be their crisis. It can be ancestral crisis, something from a great grandmother or a grandmother. And so some of our ailments I can see don't even come from what we're carrying, but from our ancestors and how they came in with things and we just genetically were given to us. So with my indigenous medicine, I help to clear some of that. It doesn't mean that there's not anything present in our life now that does not affect how we walk our path, because I work with a lot of people who have had trauma even in their own lives, but some of this can be given down from ancestor to ancestor. So working within that system again, and functional medicine and knowing the meridians have really come in, and I can see a whole package with somebody and go, I know you may not believe this, but your great grandmother had this ailment, and it could be diabetes. I love it can be anything from urinary prolapse, right? Bladder prolapse. There's just so many things that we hear, well, it's genetic. It's going to happen to me. It's just going to happen to me. I'm going to get cancer. It doesn't have to be that way ever. It really doesn't. The other thing I do see are some things from lives, some past lives, right? And so my favorite story with that is a gentleman who was 27 years old, and I'm just giving you my patients and how their experiences have been. 27-year-old man who came in and his second bout of lung cancer. And he came in, and when he first walked in, I saw this warrior, but I saw more of a medieval warrior. And he comes in, his young wife, who was 25, and he's just like, I'm gonna die, this is my second bout, I'm gonna die. And I said, well, let's talk about your cancer. And the first part was in his left lobe, but I was feeling something in his right lobe. And I also felt some more up on his upper left side. And I said, you're a warrior. You can decide whether you want to live your life or not, but you got to decide, because I can tell you we can help you, or I can tell you, okay, I'll put some needles in you. We'll see if you feel better. But if you really want to fight for this, let's go for it. He said, okay, I want to fight for it. So I see him once, then he had a week of chemo, and I went to his chemo, and I actually worked with sound medicine with him while he was going through chemo. come to find out, he didn't even know I was there. He was so out of it during chemo. And I said, the right lobe is going to be okay. They're going to have to extract the left lobe, but I want to see you after they do that. So about 2 months comes by and he comes in and he said, you were right. There was something on the right side. They took out the left side. I'm finishing up my chemo. And I said, you know, there's something more here. So I started working with him and I saw shrapnel from World War II stuck on the upper part of his left lobe. And I said, this is really weird, but there's some shrapnel I got to remove and just breathe. His wife's there. They saw the whole thing, did not believe it, but took out the shrapnel, came back and told him, let's balance you out. This is what you need to take, some supplements. About 6 months later, his wife texted me and said, would you like to donate to this running charity for my patient? He's running a 10K. And I said, what? A 10K? He's had cancer twice. He had part of his lobe out. And she said, after whatever you did, he was just like, I'm done. I'm in warrior mode. I'm doing this. This is not going to kill me. And was running a 10K 6 months later. And I said, okay. And she said, we didn't know what to believe. You know, this is just unbelievable. And I said, it's totally unbelievable, but at the same time, very true, because you're feeling the effects of it. So there are just things that we carry through, I say lifetimes, but that things that are just stuck that need to be removed. And, you know, I'm seeing some of the chat stuff and I will reply to those from your questions that you're asking. But yeah, I see this over the phone. I can feel, I can see, I can work on you over the phone because we're all energy, right? And I work through the earth, Mother Earth, and how she supports us and walks on us and how we're all connected. We're all one. Gives us that ability to do that when someone is in respect of you, the patient or the client, respecting your space and you giving me permission to be able to help you. Now, I'm not saying that everything that everybody believes, everything I do all the time. I have some people who go, okay, yeah, she's a quack. I'm never going to go back there. But most of the time, it's part just awareness and the other part for them fear, right? Because who wants to hear about shrapnel during World War II coming out of them, and it's related to their lung cancer, right? So it's just being a believer of it. So I do work with people from as far as the Czech Republic, Bahamas. I have my lovely group in Boston, and Claudia's just one of like 8 people that I have out there that I work with in that area. But yeah, that's the best part of all of this. I love to see people and touch people and work in that way. But there's other ways to do this work, and we Zoom. We can do phone calls, but you know, my teachings and how I'm learning and continuing to learn with all of this is always about getting stronger. Kyle was talking to me about a great friend of his prior to us starting the meeting, and that he was given the permission to teach these wonderful lessons, or I'm not sure if you want to call them life journeys. And I'm in process of doing that with under grandmother Lane San Moonwalker. And it's going to take me a few years to be able to teach these to others, but we have to, because this is the natural way of helping people. I don't prescribe medications to people. I don't feel that is the way to go. I feel that there are supplements that our bodies can naturally process. Again, doing the psycho-emotional work or even some of this ancestral work really does make a difference with people and how their health plays a role. So that's why I'm a little different. And I think that's why Claudia said, you've got to talk to Kyle, or, you got to talk to this group, because we're right up your alley, and that we all have that belief system that it's not just about one way to do it and it's the only way, or that there has to be a specialty for a kidney and a specialty for a stomach. Like it can be the whole system. And I really never, ever just work on a stomach or a knee that's bothering people, because it's never just coming from there. It's coming from other places. So that's what I do. That's who I am. I'm pretty much in line with just staying with what we call the universal beingness within the whole. That's my group. That's the group I go with, that I work with. And the teachings that I'm with there, we have people so it's a group right now that I'm with that are under the study of grandmother Lane San, that we have people from Spain, we have people from Mexico, and we meet just like this. So COVID for us also was great because now we get to see each other, and then we don't have to wait once a year to gather and learn. We're learning constantly. So I'm hoping that my permissions get up a little higher to help other therapists learn this path as well, because I think the more open we are and the more we connect with one another, the stronger it is. And we have such the opposite effect going on in our world right now with fear. And I think we really need to come in with love instead of that force power, right? We're coming in with power from love rather than power from force, which was taught to us for so long. So that's where I am. That's who I am. I know everybody has questions. They're kind of just going, okay, this is pretty interesting. So I'm gonna go to the chat, and I'm not sure how this works, Kyle, if I just go to the chat and answer, or
Yeah, so what we do is we open it up now.
okay.
And
Okay.
we'll just like kind of go through anyone that has questions. But I will say that I'm first in line for your next appointment, then Bonnie, and then Betty. So everyone's lining
Okay.
up. That was incredible.
Oh,
We
okay.
already knew, yeah, we knew you're amazing, but that was just mind blowing. That really
Oh,
moved everybody. So
nice. Thank you.
yeah, I guess I'll kick us off with a question.
Okay. Okay.
So is there any books that you recommend? Like somebody, because I really want to do this with you, like seriously, but say somebody came to you and they wanted like a background in functional medicine or how they can read stuff to like support them on their journey. Is there anything you'd recommend to
Yeah.
have them dive in?
There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. This isn't necessarily having to do with functional medicine, but one of the best books I've read, and it's about cancer, really, but
Mm,
it's oh my gosh, and I'm going to be really hard with the name of my books right now, but it's about a book about how people have healed cancer without Western medicine, right?
mm,
And there's 9 different ways that these people heal, and I can't think of the name of the book. It's a great book, and I'm gonna have to send it to you so you can send it
yeah.
out. But it's basically what the concept of what I've learned, and it just kind of fell in my lap. But basically, these people learned that they had to have a great support system at home and
Mm,
love. They had to have a spiritual path or some path that helped them with hope. They had to find their alternative medicine practitioners, because not just me, but like other people as
mm,
well, and working together to help with them. They had to eat well, right? That was like the best thing was like eating great, good food, organic, good food,
yeah.
knowing that that's present, right? Um, and I'm going to forget all the other. The meditation was the other one, having a meditative or a quiet space to really reflect and learn to
Mm.
know oneself, right? Um, so, gosh, I
If it
wonder if I
comes
can look.
to
Let me look it up really. But yeah, keep going, keep going.
all right, so I had one other
So
quick
yeah.
question and first off, I just want to say thank you for being so amazing. Like it really truly blows
Oh,
my
you're
mind.
so sweet. Thank you,
But
Kyle. You're the great one too. Yeah.
I was wondering because I can't ask really anyone else this because it feels like woo woo, but I've had this experience. So when I was like 28, it truly felt like I can't even say that the person that existed at that point prior was actually me. Like it doesn't feel like it was actually me. And when I try to remember my past, it's almost like I'm viewing another person and I can't even really relate to that person. Almost like on that day I was born again. And I don't know if you've ever come across anybody that's been their experience, but when I look back on my past, that's genuinely how it feels. So I don't
So
know if I'm like 5 years old, but it's just a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but have you ever come across that
is
in reading somebody?
is that somebody's reawakening or initial awakening and then was shut down? Remember we talked about me being shut down. I'm
Mm,
not sure. I'm not sure. Do you remember? You said you had no recognition with that person.
I
You had no
can't I
recognition with them.
can't relate to them being me. So I can remember the experience that person went through, but it genuinely actually
So
doesn't feel like me.
probably because it's not of this lifetime, right? Right.
Yeah.
There's so many
So
different aspects where we can remember parts of our past, and
mm,
we we have it all within us, right? We have it all within us to remember other times. It's whether we do remember it or not, right?
So it
There
was almost like
is
another lifetime within this lifetime.
exactly, and you probably learned from that. Not being able to relate was because, well, there's emotion connected to this lifetime, of course, but there was an aspect of that lifetime that you went, oh, this is cool, this feels good, this is nice, maybe as
Yeah.
a remembrance, or maybe you're supposed to remember the teachings from that lifetime as well. So maybe that person you don't remember, but maybe there's teachings being downloaded from that time.
I can see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Resonate?
Yeah.
There is this YouTube video called The Egg. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it.
No.
It is one of the most amazing YouTube videos. I'm going to send it to you right now, Kyle. You can post it because it really talks about, it's a cartoon. It's the craziest thing, but it's the closest thing that I went, oh my gosh, I totally resonate with that. And how I see people, because basically they say you die, this is this video, and know that there's been lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes all around you, and you've learned all these lessons, but you come back to Earth. Well, why don't you remember them all? Well, because you're busy learning, but understanding that everybody that you come into contact with in this lifetime is you in another life. So you are me, Randy's me, Claudia's me from another lifetime, and we're all just kind of learning that. There we go. Yeah, Mr. Sean. You just put that on that. Look at that.
Nice.
On the chat. Exactly. It's the greatest 7 minutes. And I sent it to Claudia. I was like, Claudia, this is the greatest video.
All right, cool.
Amazing. You got to watch it. 7 minutes. So great.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So if anyone has a question,
that book is called Radical Remission.
Nice.
That's the name of the book.
I have a question.
Yes, Randy.
And actually, first, before the question, I have a statement. And if Dr. Lee, if you just said you're the better part of me, or no, you're part of me. You're the better part of me. But no, actually, and you had alluded to doing things from a distance, obviously. One of the things that I'm thinking about is my wife has had, major chest pains, just sweeping chest pains for years, and doctors cannot figure out what it is, and it wakes her up every night, two to three times a night, so she never sleeps. I would love to connect her. And so
it's emotional.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Yeah.
It's highly emotional. Yeah. And I'm just getting permission through her essence. About 2 or 3. It happened when she was about 2 or 3 years old.
Okay.
So you may ask her that, but that's what I'm getting is part of a trauma. Maybe she didn't even know it was a trauma, and she may not even remember, but yeah, the chest pains. Yeah, especially at night, worse at night than during the day.
Yes.
Her chest pains. Yeah.
Absolutely at night. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rarely during the day, mostly at night.
Mm-hmm. Does she ever get blue lips?
I'm sorry?
Does she ever get blue lips, like that she can't catch her breath, or that is she gasping for air ever? I feel like she's trying to gasp.
I haven't noticed.
Okay, but it's at night, right? You're sleeping.
Yeah.
So.
I would notice that, and it's dark and the lights are out. So
yeah, I would love to connect with her. Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure if 2-3 was this lifetime. Well, I mean, until I get to know her, and I would definitely.
How does she connect? What's the best way to connect?
So yeah, my email. You can connect with me in email, but from my website, you can schedule online. I think I'm booked it to March 19th right now.
Okay.
But I'm definitely, you can definitely connect on from there and make an appointment. My first appointments with you telemedicine wise are usually about an hour and a half to hour 45. And we go through a lot. There's a lot of information. I give you a list of things that you need to work on before we get off. But that's like the first step, is just connecting and someone being open to going, here's my life. I'm really, I want to start where I'm at, and let's go to the next phase.
Okay.
Lab work would be the next thing, that type of thing.
Sure. Sure. So I know the connection is going to be through the site. We'll be able to
Yes.
connect with you.
Yes.
Thank you so
Definitely.
much.
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Gosh, I just I was amazed at the information that you had and touched.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. I see January Love with your hand up.
Hi, January Love.
January Love Child. Dr. Lee and Kyle, thank you both for your time. I absolutely appreciate you giving your time and talents. I did have a question, Dr. Lee. With all of the urine and the saliva and the blood that you're testing, and you're getting all of those levels and all of that information, are you pulling any data to compare with a plant-based diet as opposed to a diet where you're eating a lot of energy that is probably not great?
Yes, all of that shows it. Claudia will tell you, or Claudia, can you, I don't want to say it. You can say, because it's HIPAA and I feel really bad, but yeah.
No, I'll say it. I was amazed. So one thing that is so funny about me, and Sean can attest to this, is I love gummy candies. I mean, I love them like a lot. And I stress eat them when I work because I get a lot of stress at work. And Dr. Lee was reviewing my lab work and she was like, so this is really weird because I know that you eat really healthy, but your lab work shows that you probably eat a lot of gummy candy. And I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So were you seeing the animal, the factory farming in that? Were you pulling energy from that, or were you just noticing gelatin and fat in the diet?
No, there was a couple of her labs that were off, right? There was malic acid that was off, right? And gummies tend to be really high on malic acid. I think there's a couple of, I can't remember off the top of my head because there's like 17 letters in this organic acid that came back, and it was like, it's either this or this. And I know she's not a junk food junkie that was going through McDonald's. So it was like the gummy part, right? The diet part is yeah, you can definitely tell if somebody is like all protein based or who's junk food based. I can tell if somebody has a neutral or more of a basic, and this is not medically intuitive. This is through the lab, right? The lab is showing me what your organic acids are doing. I don't really pick up on diet stuff except deficiencies when I'm doing medical intuitive stuff. But for me, what I do, because I do love meat, but it makes my body too acidic. So I really follow a plant-based diet, but I know I have to have it every once in a while because of what is deficient in my body. So everybody's different in how we, it's all customized. I don't put people in boxes. Even though Claudia may have some gummies, there can be something that comes up with somebody else, and it can come from actually environmental stuff. I had a lady who was, the petrol aspect was really making her toxic, and she didn't realize that she worked for, she was doing car shows and that she was getting toxic from doing car shows and stuff. So, so it's stuff like that I can pick up. Plastics, bad water is another one, right? So if somebody's getting bad water in their system, there's an organic acid that will go off to go, something's not being cleansed properly or toxic or detoxified properly from those.
But you're also
answering your question. Yeah.
Well, I guess, I was just wondering, because you're also mentioned where you didn't say Reiki, but you're checking maybe some ethereal bodies.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if you're getting any data from collectively, not just, not just the body fluid data, but if you're getting collective data where you're saying, wait a minute, here's a lot of people who are, eating a plant-based diet, and look at all of their data, and then, not just physical data, Newtonian data, but all of the data. That's what I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking for, you know, it is
Yeah.
somebody, and since you are collecting so much body fluids and you are doing, you know, so much of that analysis, are you seeing any of that? Because you're also doing the rest of it.
As well. Yeah. So data, when I'm hearing data, I'm hearing like, do you have this put down in a certain way so that I can see what the trend is? Is that correct? Is that how I'm hearing?
Well,
that you
at
want the
least
data?
even
Yeah,
collecting right now. Yeah.
collecting. Besides my patient notes, I wish I had any time to collect data in that way. I'd have to go through my patient notes. I can tell you off of like people, but as a researcher, I'm not really good at that. I'm not really good at going, this collective here is this collective here is this. Really, I really specialize in custom stuff. And I guess the bigger realm is to do collective, right? Right now, I just listen and I work with people because no one's listening to them. So I'm always the last resort when no one's listening to them. So collecting data would be like definitely for my front office person to maybe put things together to understand that, you know, plant-based diet and then where they are in their spiritual path, where they are in their even in age, right? You know, the data I can tell you right now is my autistic patients. So I can give you some things here. My autistic patients, amazing spiritually. Like they are not going to go beyond where they're at because they know who they are and what they're supposed to do. They're, I mean, esoterically amazing and intelligent, right? My fibromyalgia patients do not take care of themselves. They are the last people that will care for their body and have self-love. These are the people that are healthcare workers, just care workers for husbands, wives, grandparents. These people will not take care of themselves. Everybody else is more important. When I get them to start actually coming interior and going, oh, I needed to put myself first, that's when the shift happens with fibromyalgia patients, right? So does that kind of help what I'm telling you about my trends with actually disease to who people are? So yeah, that's kind of how I see things. But to have the clinical data of it, girl, I'm not good at math.
No, but you're starting to collect it. And that's, I think it's gonna be a part of, you know, it's gonna be a paint, you know, a part of the picture, a part of the big picture.
Yeah. And just, yeah, I just hate to box people like that because we're all so boxed in our worlds, right? You know?
Right. No, we definitely
yeah.
all, I agree. We definitely all need different lifestyles, different nutrition, different everything, you know, we live in different environments, but I was just, you know, just because
Curious.
of the way that we eat food and the nutrients that aren't in it anymore, I was just wondering if, you know, you noticed one over the other.
Well, whole food completely, right? People who are more whole food based, obviously. And that's the other thing is most people don't, marketing's so great of saying healthy, whole grain, whole, and I'm like, no. if you can't read the instructions, the ingredients, you throw it away, and there should be more than like 2 or 3 in there, you know, or 5, but they all should understand, you should know what they mean. If not, don't eat it, right? But yeah, so that clean diet, yeah, good. Okay.
Thank you, January Love Child. If anyone else has any questions, we want to hear from
you. I'll say a question.
Awesome.
I almost feel guilty because it's so personal, but perhaps it's could be applied in general. So I sprained my ankle really badly in January, and I've never hurt myself really in a physical way like that. And I got an x-ray and stuff, and it was, you know, nothing was broken, but so it's been now, you know, more than 3 months, and it's still not fully healed. And I have some other people around me who have old injuries, and it seems like a little bit of a theme right now. So I'm wondering what the best course of action is to heal when you have some sort of major injury like that, and when you should get worried about it not healing because I like the idea of my body healing, but then I'm also a little bit worried that I need some bigger intervention. So it seems
The
like a
right-
theme right now.
Right outside ankle, the right side outside or left?
Yeah, right
It was right.
outside ankle, but I think
Okay.
the inside too is
Was-
got a little bit hurt, but it's mostly the rotated outside. Yeah.
Exactly. I just see your right outside ankle.
Yeah.
So, right, ligaments are the
Yes.
hardest tendons to heal because you overstretch them and they don't come back as quickly as they could, or
Yeah.
as like muscle or bone. So sometimes it would have been better if you break it,
Broke.
because
I
then it
know.
would have. So are you having any, okay, I don't know if we want to go this way, but urinary issues or even any like upper right quadrant, like stuff with digestion or gallbladder stuff? There's like, I'm kind of feeling that is coming, anything like that going on as well. Because so yeah.
No, there's nothing. All of my pooping and peeing
Everything
is all a-okay, and there's
all
no weird
good.
feelings in my body.
It's just the achiness of the ankle still.
Yeah. And I wonder what the normal path of healing is for
That can
injuries
take
like
like
that.
a year. It can take up to a year if you have a really bad sprain. Was it bruised also?
Oh my God, it looked like death, like
Oh.
a death leg.
Okay, so then you have to actually heal all the little veins in there, the circulatory system. You did a really good job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So heat compresses would be really good for that. I'm sure do you take collagen now? Do you take some collagen?
I actually am not. I was for a while,
Powder?
but I'm not currently. I would do that
Powder?
again.
I would do powdered, right? And
Yeah.
then I would get some great amino acids in your body. Definitely some good amino acids. And it's because it's the last place. Think of our head, our torso, our organs, and then you Angel, that the last place that circulatory goes to, right? So we want to try and get some circulation to that and so acupuncture would be really, really great for you if you can get an acupuncturist to get in there and start getting some circulation and blood in there. But remember, it's like the last place that it holds us up, right? That's how we walk and kiss the earth every day, as Rumi says. So you want to get some circulation in there, whether that's heat, whether that's acupuncture. You can also do like a TENS unit, any type of vibration, sound therapy. I mean, I use sound therapy a lot. So sound therapy will help with every night before bed, grab that leg, grab that ankle, tell it you're so grateful that it was holding you up today and you love it. And just as a left ankle, you want it to come in and just be at its best and healthy self. Like just nurture yourself and nurture it instead of getting to the frustration of, why aren't you healing? What am I doing wrong? What, you know what I mean? They get frustrating with pain. So come from love and I mean, that's just self nurturance, but I think you just need to get some circulation in that area and keep with the maybe KT tape or some type of, you know what KT tape is? Everybody know what kinesio tape is? Athletes use it. It's like colored tape. If somebody knew how to do any KT taping there, you can stabilize it. I do KT tape with like somebody who has a sciatica to keep things in place as well.
Oh, yeah.
But that's probably like a PT where you're at. I'm not sure if anybody out there does KT tape. It's called kinesio tape or KT tape. And they can stabilize it so that even when you're walking, the tape stays on for about a week if it's done right, and it just stabilizes a little bit. Does that help you? Am I giving you too much information?
And I love the loving my ankle.
Oh, we should be loving our feet every day when you get in bed and go, thank you for helping us walk on this earth.
I know. You know, the weird thing is, I don't know if this is meaningful, but in a sequence of events, I've never hurt myself at all, but I did in New Zealand this last year. I broke my little pinky toe. And then I had a thing where I dropped glass on my foot and cut my foot really badly and got stitches. And then I had the ankle thing. So I wondered if.
Are you grounded, girl? Are you grounded?
No, it was, I was thinking about it being about moving forward and,
well, the fact that you're slicing it open and breaking it and twisting it is telling me get those redwood roots and those oak tree roots in and find that Mother Earth vibration in you. And
all right, I'll find some vibrations.
Yeah, because like your meditations are so awesome, and you went to that forest, and I don't know. We'll have to talk. We'll talk.
There's
some other stuff, but we'll keep it.
Thank you. Thank you for all that. And I'm in love with you.
I love you too, girl.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
That was a great question.
I have a few questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm Alyssa. Claudia is currently mentoring me right now. She's an amazing woman. She invited me to join here, and I'm so glad I did. I guess I don't really have like a question. It's more of just like I just have so many health issues. Like it's like one after the next. Like it just stacks up, and I'm only 20 years old, so it's really overwhelming because it's like I shouldn't be feeling this way at like 20. Like I found out I have arthritis in my back, like on top of like herniated bulging discs. I have nodes. I have fibromyalgia. I have celiac disease, hormone imbalances, chronic fatigue. Like, I mean, seriously, the list goes on. So I'm just kind of wondering, like, do you suggest a good first step in the right direction to kind of just like deal with everything? Because I'm just feeling very discouraged, like just about not just my career, but like my future, you know? I'm just like, I'm not really sure. Like, I mean, am I going to feel like this when I'm 25? Like, if I was like in my 50s, it'd be like, okay, you know, my time has come, but like, I'm just so young. So I guess I'm just kind of wondering if you have any good suggestions, you know?
The first step. Do you, so exercising is really hard with fibromyalgia, isn't it? It's so hard.
Yeah. And with a bad back too, like I used to be a gym rat. Like that's actually how I got injured. I would do just these crazy lifts and stuff. And yeah, it's really hard because I want to do all this cardio and stuff, but I can't even walk uphill sometimes. I can't even get out of bed sometimes. And then on top of that, like fibromyalgia is just like, you know, I'm just aching so much. So it's really hard.
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is diet, right? How's that diet? How's the whole food aspect to your? It's the hardest thing because fibromyalgia, they crave sugar,
Yes.
right?
It's so bad. Like, I mean, I got diagnosed with celiac only a few months ago. So I've had to change, like, I've known I've had a gluten intolerance for about a year, but I've had to change things. I've gained a lot of weight. I gained 20 pounds because my body was actually malnourished. So it's like now, you know, my guts are trying to heal. They're clinging onto everything because it was in starvation mode for so long. Like, I mean, at least 6 years. So
yeah, an anti-inflammatory diet, number one thing for you, girl. Anything that causes inflammation is going to cause more pain in your body. So the American Arthritis Association or something like that, they have an anti-inflammatory diet. Girl, it's tough. No soy, no dairy, no gluten, no meat, right? It is a tough diet. It's basically veggies, beans, no rice. You can have a little beans, but like it's very strict. But the anti-inflammatory diet for arthritis and fibromyalgia is amazing. Any books I can recommend for that? Dr. Hyman does talk about it quite a bit, the anti-inflammatory diet, but I'm trying to actually think of like just books. Sarah Friedgraf, she's pretty amazing with that. But that's going to be the first thing. You have to change what you're putting in your body, right? And how it's being processed in your body. And it's hard when you're used to eating stuff you love. And it doesn't mean you can't have it, Alyssa. It doesn't mean it. It just means that it has to be in moderation. So if you're eating anti-inflammatory diet, maybe 5-6 days a week, maybe you have one day where you can have maybe something that's like French fries or something that's a little inflammatory, but that is going to be the hardest to change through anything for anybody's diet. And it is actually the biggest result for health.
Totally. Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've heard that a lot from my doctors too. And like, I really don't eat like, I really don't eat horrible. I think like my biggest thing is like peanut butter. Like I love peanut butter, but
and biggest inflammatory, right? Sugar and peanuts, right? Too big inflammatory. Yes.
Totally. Yeah. So I think changing it is just I think it's just about like actually doing it, you know?
So shift a little bit to like cashew butter. There's almond butter as well. Like that's a little less inflammatory because peanuts are the most inflammatory. But there's there's a butter out there and I can't think of the name of it. And it's not any nuts. I think it's called sun butter. And it's pretty anti-inflammatory, but it still has, Did you show that, Kyle? Is that what you have there?
I got some sunflower seed butter. It's pretty dope.
Sunflower seed.
I don't know if that's the same.
It's not the same. It's just called, I think it's called sunflower, but it may not be made with nuts, but it tastes like peanut butter, but it's less inflammatory. It's given to, like, it's in schools because there's so many kids that have nut allergies. So they give this, it's kind of like a nut butter, but it's not made with nuts, and it's not anti-inflammatory. It's not inflammatory, and it tastes like peanut butter. So I'm not sure what's in it.
Yeah. Great. That's awesome.
I hope that helps, Alyssa.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Can I go next?
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Lee.
Hello.
Oh, it's amazing to be to see you here, and I wish we had more doctors like you. I growing up, I never had a good experience with doctors. I was always either sick or my mom was sick, my dad was sick. It's kind of I never had that kind of good experience. But that's why I just try to stay away from doctors as much as possible. But yeah, that was my experience. But seeing you, talking with you was such a refreshing for me to see that we have doctors in the world like you. That's amazing.
You. Oh, so sweet.
I have a pain in my back, and I don't know it's been I don't know, for a long time. I'm doing exercises and stuff, but it's still there. I don't know what to do to make it better. When I'm standing like this, usually I have a little pain.
Lower back? In the lower back or mid back, or
in the mid back? In the mid back
mid
area.
back. So that's the kidney area. So dehydration? Let's talk about dehydration. That's the first thing. Water.
I do drink 2 liters per day, but I'm not sure if it's enough.
And so, how long has this been going on for, first of all?
Maybe for a year or 2.
4 years. And how old are you?
24.
Okay. So in your 20s, later in life then. So there's a couple of things. I mean, there's some diagnostic things we can do for it. When somebody comes in with back pain, and it's usually in that mid to lower back, I always ask, how's your support system? Do you have a good support system? Do you have people who are backing you and who you are and how you stand in the world? And they'll go, yes, no, I feel like no one is supporting me. I feel like I'm doing this on my own, and that I may not be doing the right thing. And so I don't know, does that resonate with you?
It does. It's just so hard. It's I have my family and they support me, but they don't support me emotionally. They always they don't get me that much.
Exactly. And that's the hard part, right? We want our family to get us because they love us and they've known us for so long. But girls, sometimes we just got to do us. And we got to know that the only support we need is self-love, self-walk, because their choices may not be our choices, right? They may be there for us financially, but emotionally, we have to be able to go, this is my path. I want to do this. And sometimes our family is not even blood. Our family to support us is friends. Our family to support us is a practitioner or a doctor, right? Our family to support us to go, you know what, just do you, because in the end, that's who's going to make those choices to do it. And it's hard because you do want somebody to support you emotionally, but in the end, you're going to be the one that's walking the path. You're going to be the one. And I do work on that stuff as well, to go, well, what is it that you don't feel support emotionally from? And it's just the way they're showing love, the way you want to receive love and the way they're giving love, probably not in connection to each other. So it could be words, it could be, but that's probably what's going on with that back, is you're feeling, I'm walking this, but no one really sees me or supporting me in this.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lee. It's just amazing to connect with people, like-minded people. I know that whatever I tell here is just so non-judgmental, and everyone's listens and everyone tries to say nice things. I love you. I love you all.
Oh, nice, Leila. How sweet are you? Where are you at? What part of the world?
I am right now in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
But I'm originally from different country, from Azerbaijan.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Azerbaijan.
Yes.
I always forget that one. Azerbaijan. Layla, we love you so
Azerbaijan.
much.
Oh, I love you too.
And we have your back. The Quantum Healing
Thank
Practitioner.
you.
You have, they're supporting you, girl. You got all
Uh,
these people supporting you.
Keep coming. We're going to love you up. I see Claudia with a question.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I just wanted to address a question that was in the chat room from another dear friend of mine who is Jane, and she had asked, I'm scrolling back, if you, I think she asked if you work with mother daughters or something like
Patients
that.
as a team.
Yes, that one.
Okay. I guess it would be in what regard? Today, I had my mother who is, not my mother, but a mother who is 37 with her 5-year-old, and she brings her 5-year-old, and I work on her 5-year-old, and then I work on mom. But I guess it means, is this for connection with one another? Is this with, oh, sorry.
Oh, I just jumped in.
Okay, hi, Jane.
Hi. It's connection with one another. I'm a single mom, and my daughter's 14, and we've just been struggling for as long as I can remember, honestly.
Can I give you one book to read, Jane?
Sure.
The Conscious Parent.
Okay.
The Conscious Parent. Girl, that book pissed me off because it tells you what your kids are doing to you is unresolved crap that you've got to get rid of.
Oh, that is the truth. I'll tell you, that is absolutely the truth.
Oh, okay. So my son's going to be 21 in August. My daughter just turned 18. And every time something would happen, I go, okay, what is this within me that is really irking me? Oh, she's so much stronger than I was at 14 or 15. How do I talk to her and go, you know, I get it, you know it all, but let me see what I needed to know at that 14-year-old self. What was it that I was wanting? And maybe your daughter's missing that relationship that she had with you when she was 6. You know, I'm not sure, but the Conscious Parent really changed my life, because it's not just, they'll talk a lot about little kids, but as they're aging, we go to those ages of what we were doing at 14, right? And then what they're doing, and it's just so different world. So how do we relate to it, and why is there a battle with it? So great book. That's I would love to work with both of you if she's open to it, right? If she likes a little woo-woo.
I think she would be. Yeah, I'll talk to her
Yeah.
and then sign up on your website.
Yeah, and get that book or audiobook. It's mind-blowing why they do the stuff they do and how it irks us and sets us, like, they know our buttons for some reason. They came into this world and we're learning from them, honestly.
Yeah, she is definitely my teacher. Yeah, she is my teacher. Yeah.
They do. They always will. They'll always teach us. And so just be grateful that right now you are learning those hard lessons again.
Yeah, true. Well, thank you. Thanks
You're
so much.
welcome.
Great to meet you virtually and hear all your wonderful insights and answers to everybody.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Claudia.
I'm going to sign off. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, thank you. That was the best meeting ever. So what we do to just close is we say a prayer to all those awakening at this time. So we do this thing where we reach out our arms and try to connect with each other energetically. And Uncle Randy is going to read us our closing prayer. You just got to unmute, brother.
I unmute myself. There we go. I love being Uncle Randy.
My guy.
Okay. We reach out. We hold hands. We connect with each other. We dedicate the merit of this meeting to all those awakening at this precious time. May our efforts to better ourselves help shift the planetary consciousness from fear into love. May this energy ripple out into the world and awaken those with closed hearts. Illuminate closed minds and inspire all to live within the presence and compassion and generosity. Feel that energy. Amen. as it is, blessed be.